For centuries, we've stared at Stonehenge, the mysterious circle of giant stones standing silently on the English plain. We've been told it was a temple, an observatory, or most famously, a giant calendar built by ancient druids to track the seasons and stars. But what if all those theories are wrong? What if Stonehenge's true purpose was something far more powerful and far more unsettling? A purpose not meant for watching the skies, but for controlling the very minds of those who gathered there. This is the story of how Stonehenge wasn't a calendar. It was a weapon of sound. Let's first address the popular calendar theory. The idea is that the stones align perfectly with the solstices, the longest and shortest days of the year. It seems logical, a sophisticated clock for a prehistoric people. But there are problems with this idea. A significant number of the alignments don't quite match up with important celestial events. If it were a precision instrument for tracking the sun and moon, wouldn't its builders have been more exact? Furthermore, creating such a massive structure just to know when winter is coming seems like an incredible amount of effort for a result that could be achieved by simply observing nature. Ancient people were deeply connected to their environment. They didn't need a multi-ton stone computer to tell them the seasons were changing. The real clue to Stonehenge's purpose isn't found by looking up at the sky, but by listening to the stones themselves. Modern science has allowed us to explore an aspect of the monument that was impossible for earlier archaeologists to study: its acoustics. In 2012, researchers from the University of Salford decided to test this. They couldn't experiment on the actual Stonehenge, as it's a protected site and is missing many of its original stones. So they did the next best thing. They built a scale model, precise 1/12 replica of what Stonehenge would have looked like in its prime. Around 2200 BC, complete with all 157 stones, they called it Stonehenge Lego. Inside an acoustic chamber, they tested how sound behaved within this miniature stone circle. They played various frequencies and recorded the results, and what they discovered was astonishing. The sound didn't just bounce around randomly. The stone circle acted as a powerful acoustic amplifier. Sounds made inside the circle were enhanced, while sounds from the outside were blocked out, creating a distinct auditory bubble. The space became an ancient concert hall designed for a very specific sonic experience. The reverberation time, which is how long a sound echoes after the source has stopped, was also unique. It was similar to a modern-day lecture hall or a cathedral. Places designed so that a speaker can be heard clearly by a large audience without modern microphones. This wasn't an accident. The placement and shape of the stones were deliberately engineered to manipulate sound. The builders of Stonehenge were not just master stonemasons, they were acoustic engineers. But why would they go to such incredible lengths to build a giant sound machine? The answer might lie in the fascinating field of psychoacoustics, the study of how sound affects the human brain and psychological state. We know today that certain sound frequencies can have profound effects on us. Low-frequency humming can induce feelings of calm and relaxation, while specific rhythmic patterns can create a sense of unity in a crowd, like at a concert or a rally. Some researchers believe that ancient cultures knew this intuitively. They understood that sound could be used to alter consciousness and create powerful group experiences. They could use it to make people feel connected, awestruck, or even fearful. Imagine an ancient ritual at a complete Stonehenge. Crowd gathers inside the circle, cut off from the sounds of the outside world. The air is thick with anticipation. Then the sound begins. It could have been chanting, drumming, or the playing of primitive horns. Inside the acoustically perfect circle, these sounds would have been amplified and echoed, creating an overwhelming sensory experience. The very air would seem to vibrate. The stones themselves might have been part of the instrument. Some of the blue stones at Stonehenge are known as lithophones, meaning they ring like a bell when struck. Evidence suggests these stones may have been intentionally played during ceremonies. The combination of rhythmic drumming, resonant chanting, and the ringing of the stones would have created a hypnotic effect. The low-frequency vibrations would have passed through the ground and into the bodies of everyone present. A phenomenon known as tactile sound. Scientific studies have shown that specific frequencies, particularly those in the theta brainwave range around 4 to 7 Hz, can induce a trance-like state. This is a state between waking and sleeping, often associated with deep meditation, heightened creativity, and suggestibility. Could the leaders or priests of Stonehenge have been deliberately generating these frequencies? By controlling the sound, they could guide the entire gathering into a collective, altered state of consciousness. They could make the crowd feel a divine presence, see visions, or feel an unbreakable bond with their leaders and their tribe. This wasn't just for a spiritual high. This was a tool for social control. In a time before written laws, police forces, or centralized governments, how do you unite thousands of people from different clans and get them to cooperate on massive projects, like, for instance, building Stonehenge itself? You create a shared, powerful experience that binds them together. You use sound to create an us. The rituals at Stonehenge, powered by its incredible acoustics, would have been a powerful form of social cement, forging a common identity and reinforcing the authority of the ruling elite. In this context, Stonehenge transforms from a passive calendar into an active instrument of power. It becomes a weapon not of physical force but of psychological influence. It was a machine designed to control minds. Think of it as a form of ancient propaganda, broadcast not through a radio, but through vibrating stones and hypnotic rhythms. It was a way to ensure obedience, inspire loyalty, and maintain the social order. The people who controlled the sound at Stonehenge controlled the people. The number of theories about this ancient site is vast, and we may never know the complete truth. The original builders left no written records, only these silent, imposing stones. But the acoustic evidence is compelling, shifts our perspective from what the people of Stonehenge saw to what they heard and, more importantly, what they were made to feel. The sky and the stars may have been part of the spectacle, but the real power was in the sound. The next time you see a picture of Stonehenge, don't just see a pile of rocks. Imagine the air vibrating with the sound of drums and chants. See it not as a calendar for farmers, but as a powerful weapon of sound. A masterpiece of psychoacoustic engineering built to shape the hearts and minds of an entire civilization. Thank you for watching. To explore more hidden histories and forgotten truths, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Historical Repo.